Critical examination of aquaculture. Number 1 question. Define aquaculture. The term aquaculture broadly refers to the cultivation of aquatic organisms in controlled aquatic environments for any commercial, recreational, or public purpose. Number 2 question. Compare farming the water to farming the land. Aquaculture or farming in water is the aquatic equivalent of agriculture of farming on land. Defined broadly, agriculture includes farming both animals, animal husbandry, and plants agronomy, horticulture, and forestry in part. Number 3 question. Explain the difference between phytoplankton and zooplankton. Phytoplankton are tiny drifting plants that photosynthesize their own food. Green algae that you see in the surface of bodies of water are a good example. Phytoplankton produce much oxygen for our atmosphere. Zooplankton are tiny drifting animals that eat plants. Number 14. Number 4. Explain the differences between mollusks and crustaceans. The crustaceans are insects that have segmented bodies. On the other hand, mollusks have soft bodies which are unsegmented. Number 5 question. Use specific plants and animals. Describe a polyculture system. Polyculture is the practice of growing more than crop species in the same space at the same time. In doing this, polyculture attempts to mimic the diversity of natural ecosystem. Number 6. In what ways do aquatic animals save energy compared to terrestrial animals? Terrestrial animals, land-based animals including mammals and reptiles, can be in water and some utilize it as a way to hunt but do not need to live in the water. Number 7. Identify 6 factors to consider in selecting species of possible aquaculture. Commonly cultured organisms, fishes, crustaceans, and mollusks. Other cultured organisms, seaweed, frogs, crocodiles, and turtles. Biological features of commonly cultured fishes, crustaceans, and mollusks. Tolerance limits of salinity, temperature, and oxygen tension, growth rates and yields in different types of culture, breeding habits, feeding habits, and geographic distribution. Criteria for selection of species for culture. Objectives of culture, geographic and climatic. Number 9. Briefly describe how gills work. As the fish opens its mouth, water runs over the gills and blood in the capillaries picks up oxygen that dissolves in the water. Number 10. Define marketing and describe a marketing plan. Marketing refers to activities a company undertakes to promote the buying or selling of a product or service. A marketing plan is the advertising strategy that a business will implement to sell its product or service. Number 12. Explain the concept of Blue Revolution. The Blue Revolution, with its multidimensional activities, focuses mainly on the increasing fisheries production and productivity for aquaculture and fisheries resources, both inland and marine. Number 13. Explain the difference between extensive, semi-extensive, and intensive culture systems. Semi-intensive systems use densities higher than extensive systems and use complementary feeding. Intensive culture use very high densities of food organisms and is totally dependent on artificial formulated feeds. Number 15. Explain the requirements for suitable aquaculture species. Species that school and swim near the surface or edges are ideal, as are species that can be readily trained to feed the particular area. Species that are very flighty or secretive are usually less suitable for aquaculture. 16. Explain the critical consideration in terms of site selections and development of a fish pond. The critical consideration in terms of site selection and development of a fish pond are water supply, water quality, climate, hydrological characteristics, soil characteristics, and land. Verse 17. Explain the different aquaculture system SWOT analysis of all the aquaculture systems. The different aquaculture system is water-based system, land-based systems or flow-through systems, recycling systems, enclosed systems, more open pond based on recirculation. Number 18. Explain how a circulating system works. What are the critical things to be considered and maintained? A recirculation system is in fact quite simple. From the outlet of the fish tanks, the water flows to a mechanical filter and further onto a biological filter before it's irradiated and stripped of carbon dioxide and returned to the fish tanks. From the outlet of the fish tanks, the water flows to a mechanical filter and further on the biological filter before it is aerated and stripped for carbon dioxide and returned to the fish tanks.